super hard to combine, but it's possible, of course. And they might be thinking, you know what? If we don't have our usual combo like vacuum into Fissure, why don't we just vacuum into Stolen Fissure?
Sure.
If they have the right spell steal, Darkseer's actually going to be incredibly powerful. And there's a lot of spells that actually synergize really well with it on the other team that Ruby can steal. Call Down, Fissure, Kinetic Field, or Static Storm, Lina Stun, Dragon Slave. Like, you know, he could almost steal anything and he could combine with Darkseer. So, with that in mind, I actually kind of like it here after all.
All right, so let's quickly introduce the players on both sides. Virtus Pro up 1 game in this best of 5 series. FNG playing that Rubik, just heading down the mid lane for now. DK Phobos on that Darkseer. Razor on the bottom lane, being handled by Illidan. Sorry, Weapus, I'm making you jump back and forth. Visage trailing a little bit behind. It's going to be handled by Little. And last but not least, G, which you guys were saying that this is his best mid hero, at least in this patch. I would definitely tend to agree. He had a very tough game yesterday, but it did not matter.
Yeah, it looks like I might have very short time to introduce an NiP as they are looking for a gank. So we've got Steel Kid on Ogre, Era on Gyro, Limp on Lina, Jonas on Shaker, and Hanskin on Disruptor. They will be trying to wrap around here. They're in a really good position for VP though. Illidan's position here is perfect, and he even has boots. So if they start walking in here, it's gonna break. Oh wait, Lil was not in the right position though. Easy first blood for Ninjas in Pyjamas. And it's gonna go to Limp. Great advantage from the start for your mid laner to have a null talisman and almost bottle if he gets the bottom rune as well. It just needs like 2 or 3 CS.
So I think when Smoke was first introduced in Dota 2, people were always trying to do these kind of like all first man gank. Like there wasn't I think a big debate whether it's worth it or not. But in this particular case where he got the first blood and the next rune,
and they ward.
Yeah, it's hugely worth. The great start for NiP.
Yep. Lesh will get the lane for VP though, or the rune rather. So 1-for-1 bounty rune trade. That means the experience advantage for Limp is minimal, only 25 because of that kill. They split it 5 ways, but his gold advantage, of course, pretty significant.
So if you're playing Earthshaker in this case, you're not going to get anything done on the bottom. So I imagine you're going to spend most of your time trying to come in mid, but it seems like Virtus Pro is very well prepared. They have a fairly decent defensive ward, and they will spot up Shaker coming in. The Fissure though, actually, the stun hits on the front side, and G in a lot of trouble. All they need is the Fissure to stun, and they will get it off, and G will get, he's down! And he survives. Meanwhile, LSA misses on FNG, so a disastrous situation still, because now G's sitting in lane with 70 health, but at least he didn't die.
Yeah, and that was a rotation from the offlane Shaker as well. So that not being successful puts him in a pretty bad position in the bot lane.
Well, I don't think he's going to get anything done in bot lane though.
It's possible, yeah. That is true. But with him leaving, they're still free to do what they want. He's actually going to wrap around again. And this one could very well work. FNG is in a really bad spot. That's an easy kill. They might even get both. If he gets the Fissure here onto G, good damage though going the other way. Steel Kid could die here, but the Fissure's gonna save him with the light strike. Not enough.
Great job by G, because a lot of players would have just ran back, but G realized all of the stuns has been used on his ally, so might as well pull forward, use the salve, and actually get a kill on the support. That puts him right back in this lane. And
he's actually winning it.
Yeah, now he's at bottle gold as well, so that's huge.
He is 8-4 against 1-0 after being ganked unsuccessfully, obviously, but still being pressured very hard. He is still winning the lane.
Actually, how is Lim not getting all these CS?
I think he's been using all of his mana that you would usually use on farming. He's been using it aggressively to try to find the kills instead of Dragon Slave farming the wave. And her animation just outplayed him mechanically on the physical ones.
Yeah. Little gets Fissure Trap on the bottom side. Is he going to deny the rune? Yeah, he will. And cancel the clarity. Nicely done. How's our top lane doing? We expected Darkseer to have a very tough lane against a Gyrocopter, and you already see him running all the way back to base. And Era is going to be free farming. Would you argue that taking 1 point in homing missile, especially against a hero like Darkseer, is a good thing to have in the lane, or do you think it's just better to level it with Flak and Rocket Barrage?
It's nice when you're playing with Disruptor, I think, because you can start the homing missile and he has to run away, and then you glimpse him back into it.
Right.
And that makes it very easy to land, a follow-up kinetic field, get a little bit of extra damage out, and of course get the full Rocket Barrage. So I would definitely agree with getting 1 point. He's not going to do it for now, though. Anyway, Hanskin's on level 1 and has Thunderstrike, so this is an impossible kill. And Phobos will be getting 3 as a result here, I think, almost, from this creep wave. And the next one will be reaching in a fairly favorable position for him as well. Actually, that was enough for level 3. Put on the shell on the melee creep, and You know, I don't think this laning stage is going all that well for NiP, to be honest. Even though they're at 3-1, getting this key kill in mid is of course going to be very useful. Limp actually soloing that. I was not looking for that. That was a very unlikely kill to happen, but
yeah, and they're not done.
finds an opening.
If you look towards the support on the back line here, I believe they have they have a smoke on Ogre. They got double boots available. I think maybe perhaps getting another kill in the mid lane would be great, but looks like they're going for top, which hence a little bit trouble right now. Here comes the Gyrocopter. The Rocket Barrage is going to do a ton of damage, a little bit of body block, but there's a glimpse. A level 1 glimpse will bring DK Phobos back. They have the fissure available if he could get in position. Where's Johannes Van? On the low ground to high? No? Yeah, okay. The long range fissure, and Era gets the kill. I mean, again, the argument is that Johannes Van is not on the bottom lane, so there's a free farm lane, but I think his game impact so far has been exceptional.
These rotations are definitely working for NiP, but it's not giving them a lead. The game is dead even now, and they're 4-1. Oh, FNG, all right, that's greedy. Does not cliff him. This is probably going to be his death trying to go for that Q play. He is gone. And Limp now 4-0. He is 9-2 on the CS against the 19-10 of Lesh, however. But NiP, after getting a couple kills but losing out on the lanes pretty massively, I think they've recovered nicely, especially in the mid lane now for Limp.
And Lina is one of those heroes where if you get an early enough Euls, you could just take over a game. It really forces the enemy hand in terms of where to go. And now another LSA following the fissure. G is taking a ton of double damage, but it's uphill misses 2 in a row. G thanking his lucky stars a bit. Well, actually, he's going to go for
not going for the third.
Well, Surge, he's going to go forward. Can he actually get the sight? It's nighttime, and he's going to die for it. Die for it, not die for it. And G, perhaps a little bit of trouble now, but he does have Iron Shell, which will protect him a little bit from the creeps. Meanwhile, it's going to be Rubik rotating mid. There's just a Carnage on the mid lane. DK Phobos joining the fray as well. No mana for Fissure. It looks like there's going to be a kill going towards the way of FNG. Just a lot of rotation in both sides.
Classic VP early game. Just really running around looking for kills. NiP have got the better trades, though, so far. And yeah, it's still, they're behind on Golden Experience. I want to attribute most of it to the offlane, where Jonas, his rotations have of course helped a lot, but it is an expensive commitment.
Yeah, and the
DK
times
Phobos will be farming a lot more.
And the times when they've gotten these kills, it's like 3 or 4 heroes. So the experience and goal gain hasn't been the best.
And now when it comes to comparing the offlaners, Jonas is almost as experienced as the Darkseer is, but the thing that is inevitably going to happen is Darkseer will out-farm him heavily. He's got 15 CS to the 1 of Shaker. He got a lot of it in the lane, and now he can just jungle if he desires to do that.
Yep.
And will definitely be pulling ahead. So NiP needs to keep the momentum up. They need to use Limp even more aggressively with his now picked up Laguna Blade. You'll be looking at the bottom rune as well, by the way. It's I don't remember the last time I've seen this. The mid hero is 4-0.
Middle tower
and he's
is under
13
attack.
CS minute 6. I guess it's been all about the kills for NiP mid rather than focusing on creep farm, whereas VP have got a little bit of a hybrid going, and the safe laners are fairly even. So Illidan marginally out farming the Gyro. By the way, Illidan is 34 denies. He's just been all right.
Well, he's
trying
in
to set records.
This is one of those single player mode. Log in and try to practice your last hits, because that's exactly what he's doing. I do have to say though, despite them not farming well, again, this is a very different look from NiP, right? Like, they're just turning their normal farming-oriented early game into a very gank-heavy one. It's working. The thing is, in the past, when NiP gets a lead like this, they're not the best at holding on to it. They generally kind of just give it up in the mid-game. So, like you said, they need to continue that aggression, get the keeps. Laguna Blade's been online for a while now, but just really no opportunity to find kills. Are they going to smoke up here? There is one on the Ogre.
The main difference in this game compared to other NiP games we've seen, though, especially the last one where they also had a good early game, is that this time around, I think their lineup just matches up better in the mid game against VPs than the last one. They have tools to team fight with very well, lots of AoE stuns, good burst damage, which is crucial to have against a Lesh who really takes advantage of fights where the damage is dealt slowly. He will just out-damage you easily. But of course, between Laguna Blade and maybe a multicast Fire Blast somewhere down the line, they could pretty much kill Lesh from full health, just the 2 heroes. And you always have the backup Fissure. Of course, Glimpse into Static Storm is very good against all of VP's heroes. So I have higher hopes for NiP in this game. But I still think what they need to accomplish now is they need to get Jonas into a comfortable position. He's level 5, which is fine, minute 8. But his farm is abysmally low, and you will need this Blink Dagger on Shaker to fight in the mid game effectively, I think. FNG gonna try for the cliff again. This time it is gonna work. And Limp will have to
TP out.
pour it out
Yeah.
as they guard the haste rune for him. So they will let him run up there and take it again. Basically, fight his 500 range away from
Top lane.
away and gets it again.
There's a glimpse and there's a kinetic kill as well. FNG will go down as a result. Era's going to pick up the kill this time. There's a haste rune as well. I think Era's and the rest of his team's going to look to pressure this tier 1 tower. And slowly, NiP is having a good grip on this early game. But like you said, if you look at the graphs, it's actually Virtus Pro still leading on the farm chart. Johannes Van, I think, should just stay mid for a bit now and just CS.
And I think that is the plan as well here, is the rest of the team will try to claim the top tower by just having Era solo attack it, but having the backup from the right-hand side. I believe VP are aware of this, however, and they might just run into them as Hanskin. He's in a lot of trouble.
Well, I mean, they don't have set storm right now. Lina's gonna come and call down though. We'll hit on 2. Laguna Blade brings down the Darkseid instantaneously on the back line. She in a lot of trouble. Era's very low, but can he run away? No assumption. Oh, the Fissure blocks it off. Little's gonna get burned down by the Lina. Are they done yet? Limp's gonna have cooldown like Dragon Slave, and he should be able to get the kill. There you go. No juke spot in there. Double kill for Limp. 4 kills towards NiP, and they've only lost a support. Huge play, and they got a tier 1 tower top as well. Can you ask for a better early game for NiP?
That was a really good rotation. They brought all 5 heroes up there at the right time. And the call down from Era, of course, really, really good when it was needed the most. Surprised Illidan didn't port, to be honest. On the Razor, I think he definitely had the possibility of coming in and assisting there. A lot of the NiP heroes were very low, but he stuck to bottom lane, trying to get the tier 1 tower, hoping that maybe his team could disengage. NiP with a big win there, about a 2k net worth and only 750 experience. What the?
Yeah,
that's very little experience they managed to gain from that.
That's good on the low ground. Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, if a Razor TP in and the Plasma Field alone would have done a lot, and because everybody was so low, the Idol Storm would have cleaned them up as well. But I think the reason that NiP got such a good fight was thanks to a very deep ward. They saw the rotation from Virtus Pro and really heavily punished them for it.
And just a moment ago, we saw G getting, I believe, a solo kill on Jonas Sampan in the mid lane.
So G as expected, right? Even though getting yanked and...
He's got a decent game.
Yeah.
For sure. He's 3-2-2. He's 57 CS.
He is indeed 3-2-2.
Razor skill build is 3-2-2. You know.
How much 3-2-2 can we also find in this game?
Sorry. It's a tick I have sometimes.
Alright, so Hanskin looks like he's looking for
transition.
I mean, how do I follow up on that? Should I just follow up as what does dank may mean? Like, I don't know.
That's good. No, we're not going into that explanation.
Alright, Limp, Yule Scepter is going to be online in about 400 gold. And that's where she will begin getting solo kills. But the question I have is, what do you go after that? Because there's a good digression of getting a Shadow Blade, which we saw a Rise doing it the last time we saw Lina. Or is the Aghanims just simply better?
I think Aghs is going to be a key item in this game where it's fairly straightforward that both G and, of course, Illidan will be killing BKB somewhere down the line. The question is if the timing is right. If he gets the Aghs before they have BKB, it might not be as valuable as a Shadow Blade. So it's possible he wants to try to get the Aghs around the time when the BKB start coming out. And Shadow Blade could definitely be a nice build-up in this game as well. FNG with a really nice smoke break here. You're going to pour it out. Nicely played.
Now, what about the defensive aspects of just having more health? Which, against Soul Assumption, against a Leshrac, that might be also another reason for Limp to actually go Aghs instead of Shadow Blade. Or you're not selling that. I guess if you're playing Shadow Blade, you're kind of in the outskirts of the fight anyways.
Yeah, the Blink could definitely be nice too. Do we actually see that often right now?
Blink Lina?
Yeah. After like the Yule's into Blink build, which pretty much picked up almost all the time. But recently,
I haven't seen it at all recently.
I feel like we've seen more Aghs and more Shadow Blades. So
Dire structures are fortified.
Oh, looks like Tier 1 is going to get defended in the mid lane. They will have Glimpse available. It's a level 3 Glimpse, but Illidan's on the front line. He's actually hard to go into.
Nice deny by Hanskin.
And they're going to get the stun on Storm Rage. And Storm Rage, well, he's actually very tanky. The Lightning Storm's on the back line. Echo Slam, the Fissure hits on perfectly. FNG in a lot of trouble as well. Johannes Fan, though, will take the damage from G. He's just turning on the Pulse Nova, forcing these guys away. Limp in a lot of trouble as well. The haste stream from G. The Lightning is going to go on Limp. Yule Scepter will dodge the last hit, but actually can she make it out? Call down on the back line here by Era. Hanskin's going to get burned down by Pulse Nova. Little on the front with his teammate. Triple kill by G.
He actually prioritized chasing down the Disruptor over the Lina. That's very surprising. The moment he sees that Yule's come out, even if it surprises him that he didn't kill him with the attack,
he had a haste. He could
have easily pursued that. And now he might be in trouble. Actually, G's going to run straight into Era. Gets a nice split earth, though. Limp in position for the Slay. And they do get the kill. Goes on to Era, who's now 4-0.
Now Era's trying to slay one of these birds. Flat cannon? He is using it, and that's Andrico.
He got one. Look at that stat.
Wait, what's the stat? I don't see it.
Average number of kills between 10 and 15 minutes. Virtus Pro 10. Other teams at DreamHack 3.4.
Here's the thing, though. NiP is leading the kills now in this game, so they're playing Virtus Pro's game, and they're playing it better.
Yep, absolutely. Got a lot out of their actives in this game. A lot of movements and a lot of powerful stuns, of course, and nukes.
Mid lane here as Odin driving. They have Glimpse available, but perhaps not the Glimpse that we're looking for.
Yeah, he's going to be fine. Oh, maybe not. They'll try for him. I don't think this is going to work. They need to be careful.
Storm in a good position here. Lina misses the LSA as well. No, back off, respecting those birds. G, though, getting surged up. He's looking for more. Look at how aggressive G is playing. He's only got 100 health in the face of things like multicast, which, by the way, is not up yet, as well as the Laguna Blade, which is the more dangerous nuke. And I think this is the bigger turning point in the game where the mech is finished for DK Phobos.
Yeah, they need the mech and they need the Bloodstone on G so he gets tanky. And then when he gets BKB, if the Ags isn't up on Lina, he's going to be ridiculously hard to kill because Gyro, still a spread damage carry for all intents and purposes, and a lot of his damage is magical. So I really agree with Limp in this case actually going for the Ags. I think the timing of this is going to be the right one. G will have finished Bloodstone very soon, and then he will be building into the BKB, so he might have the X, like, say, a minute or two before the BKB, which would be absolutely perfect for Limp here. Looking at a tower trade, possibly. NiP want the tier 1 mid. G will claim the top one, and they're starting to port in. Razor getting into position. Seal Kid ready for the flank.
Can they actually take this fight?
They're just going to get the tower for free, more or less. They had to use a clip, but they hold.
I'm always surprised by how tanky Razor is, simply by just having a point booster. He's, I guess, with his passive alone, he's being able to ward off a lot of these heroes from NiP. But NiP is trying to go for a flank on the side. Not sure if this is going to work, especially with a T1 tower still available to allow Virtus Pro to port in. And they'll back off.
And the split push will just commence here for VP. They're getting a little bit more out of the map right now than NiP with farming both the top and the middle well, getting the tower for nothing. G staying up there, able to continue to farm already up to Bloodstone plus 600. And if this goes right for VP, he might have the BKB first. And then if they take one good team fight, even if the Axe comes out after it, if he manages to get a big team fight win because of it, that could be enough to get him closer to his next item.
Nice glimpse. Oh, glimpse back, but the burst stun will go onto Limp. I want to say that NiP has a position of disadvantage. FNG looking to initiate with a telekinesis. What did he steal? He stole a glimpse. He's going to use it immediately. They're going to go on Hanskin. Hanskin in a lot of trouble. The Static Storm being used. And now Illidan's stuck in there. The call down will hit, and Steel Kid knows he's dead, so might as well drop a couple of stuns. Meanwhile, Illidan just dropped down on the back line as well. G though, full health, full mana, going to work against Arrow. He's taking a ton of damage thanks to the Rocket Barrage. Man fight from Arrow. Yeah, he will get the kill there. The Bloodstone healing his allies up a little bit. Limp still has a Laguna Blade available, and looks like the Mango Burn, and the Bird's being summoned. Wow, what a return of burst damage from Little. Echo Slam on the back line. The Burst Stun, it's going to help out a little bit. Johannes Fan is going to eat the wall. The Fissure will get the kill. They're going to turn on Phobos. Enchant Totem trying to get the right click damage.
Oh, the solo!
The solo! The Iron Shell's doing so much damage. He's going to try to surge in. Juke from Steel Kid, not able to actually do it. So after that huge carnage, it was what, 4 for 4, I want to say? Because Hanskin just barely respawned.
Someone won that fight. They did well.
I mean, I guess both off lanes
Both teams won the fight. Like,
Yeah.
one team got gold, the other got experience.
Well, I think Earthshaker...
Crazy fight.
Earthshaker picking up the blink is okay for NiP. Pretty good for NiP. And now
Absolutely, that is a key item for sure.
You know-
With that in mind, probably came out on top after all.
Are you surprised at all that drums was skipped on Gyro this game? It's a normally very standard item, and I feel like the extra movement speed in this game is very good against Leshrac and...
That is very true. I think, yeah, I'm not sure what the reasoning is. I think the early stats for Era could have been nice too, but it turns out he hasn't really needed the tankiness. He went straight for SNY. He's only died once with 6 kills and 3 assists, so it's definitely worked out very well for him. And the thing about skipping drums is if you manage, you improve your farm rate, because
Yeah.
the farm rate you get out of it for its cost is really poor compared to getting straight into SNY, and it could end up being a really good choice later on not having the drums.
So what's next for him? Is it we're gonna see a
BKB.
standard BK? Yeah, okay. Oak Club
Absolutely.
picked up immediately.
There is no other item that will do half as much as a BKB in this game against the rated opponent.
Yeah, it depends on what they think the next couple minutes will be. If he thinks he could farm for a bit, I think maybe a Helm would be a little bit more effective in that, but you know this is Virtus Pro. They're taking the fight to you. So get that Health item, get that BKB ready. And overall, you would say that NiP is actually leading this game, even though Golgraph doesn't say so, right?
As far as game plan, I don't know. Like, when it comes to this game, these heroes, you know, Razor is not a good super late gamer, but he's gonna hit a really sweet spot around minute. We saw a similar game against Navi yesterday where he hit a really sweet spot around minute 30. So I don't want to say that the Razor is going to fall off until, let's say, like minute 50 or 60 is when he's going to start becoming really weak compared to other carries, such as the Gyro. So you're looking at a Lesh and Razor who are farming well. On the other side, you've got a Lina and Gyro farming well. And they kind of, in a way, provide the same sort of team fight. Good spread damage with some heavy single target. And then the wild card for me is how impactful is the Shaker going to be compared to Darkseer? Those are the ones to really compare as well. And
Yeah, I agree. On the 30-minute mark, I think that's where heroes like Disruptor and Ogre start to fall off a little bit. Whereas the stuns from Rubik, for example, will still always be good. Leshrac will still be, or sorry, not Leshrac, the Visage will still be very
Visage
good.
will scale better than both supports on NiP, unless the Ogre gets a fast Ags, which it's Seal Kid, so he won't, because they never give Seal Kid farm.
He got a Midas yesterday.
Poor Seal Kid.
He's got a point booster this game.
Yeah, it's pretty. I mean, it's above average for him, I think. They just never give him any farming priority. You know, if I'm NiP right now, Jonas doesn't farm this camp. Like, you give this to Seal Kid. Jonas got his blink. The Agster on Seal Kid, I think, is more relevant than the Force Staff that Jonas is farming for, but it's just not the way they play the game as a team. And I think it's one of their problems in some of their games is that their supports just end up getting too poor. In this game, they're even with the enemy supports. I've just got this feeling Visage is going to pull ahead, because they let Lil get more.
Oh, Limp in a lot of trouble now. FNG looking for the Limp. He will find it. Will the Sun land? He immediate self-heals as well, backed up by Sackstorm, but the bird drops are waiting for him, and she'll get burned up immediately. 3-man Echo! 3-man Fissure will be able to enchant on him. He has no mana left, and now Johannes fan in a lot of trouble. G walking in, backing hits on 2. Buyback from Limp. She's gonna die back! She just died back. On the back line, Era trying to do the damage she can. He will burn down the Darkseer, and so will take down the Little. Glimpse back right now, and they will burn down G as well. Triple kill for Era.
Alright, going for a suicide,
Oh, not triple kill.
and we'll get it, but still, he dies.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that I don't feel like that's worth it for NiP at all. They bought back their Lina, which I think was necessary for the team fight to get the outcome, since if nothing else, it baited out some spells from VP to bring her down or force them out. And
G is very sick. And I don't think it's, I think literally he's very sick.
not the wicked kind of sick.
Yeah. Hopefully he'll feel better.
Take a moment for him to recover. Hopefully nothing that's gonna...
From his play this game, he didn't look sick. He looked like he's wicked sick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Having a little bit of a tough time. But you were saying that the Lina buyback, even though she died back, it was necessary for Era to get that impact.
The fight would have had a different outcome, because I think if he doesn't buy back there, they kill Lina, they kill the Shaker, and they just back. But instead, her buyback forced them to turn and try to fight again, else she would run them down with Yules. And ultimately, it gives Era a good flank play, together with the Ogre as well from Seal Kid, and of course Hanskin with a good glimpse, ensuring that Lesh has to suicide at the end.
The Shaker, though, getting the 3-man echoes, the big turnaround for them. And even though I do agree with you, the Ogre Aghanim will be a bigger impact item, I think he would like a Force Staff just to boost his mana a little bit. You saw him, he echoed, he fissure, and then it was like, okay, I don't have mana for Enchant Totem. And he just straight up died afterwards. So
How did he lose all his mana though?
I don't think he was full mana.
He couldn't have been. There's no mana burn.
And he had
right?
to TP into the fight as well, so
Yeah.
Shaker not exactly known for his big mana pool. But I think after that fight and the next 30 seconds of farm that Era's going to get, he will have the BKB for the next one. I think that's where Virtus Pro might have a little bit of trouble against this hero.
Absolutely. That's a key BKB. I think Lesh is actually going to get his first, though. And he's going to have it before the Lina X. We talked about how this interaction is going to be important for the outcome of the game. And with that dieback from Lina, Limp is 2,000 away from from the Ags.
Yeah.
In comparison, Lesh only 600 from the BKB, with Ogre Club as well as 2,300 here. And I don't see NiP killing Leshrac during his BKB without Axe Laguna. It's just not going to happen. So we might be in a similar situation to the last game where he had the Bristleback and NiP did not have the tools. This time it's going to be a Lesh, which is arguably even scarier. But hopefully for them, they will be able to grab the Ags in at a fairly reasonable time, maybe within the next 4 minutes, perhaps, for Limp. Should be good enough.
I could see this game where she never gets Axe, where if the fight gets taken to NiP and she just keeps dying.
Yeah.
She is very frail. There's a ton of burst damage on the side. And hopefully for the sake of G, he's feeling a little bit better. Looks like they are resuming and continue to play.
Top lane is being pinged out by FNG. Guess he wants them to push it out, or just saying, all right, guys, there's going to be farm up here in about 30 seconds. There's a wave pushing our way. Make sure you go claim that. Looks like Illidan will be taking care of business. Who, by the way, has a very low net worth, actually, relative to being the safe laner. Minute 21, he only has a net worth of 7k.
Remember when he had 30 denies?
Yeah,
or whatever?
he had a great start in terms of CS, but
which, by the way,
impact hasn't been that high yet.
You and Andy were talking about this casual ring of health.
Yeah, he's doing this.
Yeah, he just does it. Any thoughts on, is the regen in the mid game that necessary?
I don't know.
It's a nice thing to have.
Am I missing something really obvious with why this ring is good? Casual ring, I feel like it's generally a thing of the past, apart from when you really need it for your lane. But both games, this game he's against a Shaker, which is a super easy lane for him.
Right.
And the other game he was against, I can't remember, another hero that couldn't pressure him at all. That was also an easy lane.
You can make the argument that Soul Ring is even just better, just for having the extra mana to farm.
Does it allow him to jungle, maybe? A bit better? So he can rotate into the jungle, take some more camps without going low, and then ultimately, later on, he transitions the Ring of Health into the Refresher anyway.
I think that's what he did yesterday against Na'Vi.
Yeah, he did that build. Yeah. So the question is if he gets the ring just to jungle.
Well, the thing is,
that makes a bit of sense.
I would make the argument that Soul Ring lets you jungle faster, just having extra mana to plasma multiple camps
at once. Yeah, you could do that then. But then that doesn't build into the Refresher.
Exactly.
So you need to keep the math and on how much gold you get back, etc. And
just Illidan's the guy who also doesn't skill Fire Breath on DK. He's definitely an innovator in his own right. Yeah. This used to happen, by the way. He now skills it because Fire Breath is much better.
I think that is the skill build in all of Dota 2 history I've seen that I had disagreed with the absolute most, was the no Breathe Fire Dragon Knight. I could not get my head around how that would be useful.
You have a higher stun on your Dragon Tail, one of the worst scaling.
I understand the idea, but it's just not a good idea. It's just how it is.
Alright.
Anyway, we're gonna look for perhaps a smoke here. Illidan has expended his ultimate to farm the Ancients, as smoke will be grabbed for FNG.
And that's the BKB. That's the key timing they're looking for.
I saw 2 Axe components on the courier, so
it's Racers,
Illidan almost has it.
Yeah. I think they're waiting for that to finish before they go for that smoke. Or at least I think they should.
Yeah, I would agree. They might as well get another key item. They got the Blue Dagger on Darkseer now, which is definitely a key item. Speaking of that, BKB on the Gyro, as well as a double damage. I think NiP will be hungry for a fight here when they have those 2 surprises at once. They're going to bait with Era by the looks of it. He's going to be pushing out bottom with Flat Cannon first.
Did Era always have a battle? Or did he just buy it?
I think he had it.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Alright, well, the rest of NiP is smoke behind the Gyrocopter. Let's see if it's obvious enough BP to spot out. Looks like they're also looking to group up and smoke as well. This
is a big fight. And it's really going to come down to who scouts each other out.
Illusion's at half HP.
Era's pretty far away. He's even walking through Radiant Wards. Alright, they're going to find FNG.
And
he gets the lift off first, though.
They have Glimpse available. He gets the Fissure off as well. Okay, are they going to Glimpse him back? That's the question. They Glimpse him back. Can they burst him down quickly? Multicast onto Fissure's going to be there as well. The mech kills him up a little bit, but here's the call down. Is he going to BKB double damage? No, he's already used the double damage. Back onto 2. It looks like Steelkey a lot of trouble. He got burned down by a soul assumption. BKB Era on the front line. That dispels the double damage, so it's not hitting for nearly as hard. The Birds gets resummoned, and that will drive Era away. On the back line, Lina trying to do a little bit of AoE nuking, but seems that NiP will back off, and I think VP dodged a big bullet.
That was a really important disengaged Fissure from Jonas and Fawn. They would have probably been able to run down 2 or 3 additional kills, or at least 1 there, but he cut them off and stopped the fight. Like you said, Era using, not getting much out of his double damage rune, of course, as well as G with Edict. He's not scared of running into Era still, because when he has BKB on, I think he still wins the man fight.
With the Edict.
With Edict on, Edict level 4. They also have a medallion on the Visage that they put on Era, increasing the Edict damage quite a bit. So,
I mean, if you look at base damage on G, he actually right-clicks not too far behind from the Gyrocopter as well. So Gyro will pick up a Helmet Dominator. Definitely needs the extra armor.
Oh yeah, by the way, I do believe someone in chat pointed out, Jonas, I think he whiffed the Echo entirely. He might have been cancelled by some sort of... maybe a plasma field hitting him in the periphery, or maybe a bird got onto him or something, or Soul Assumption could have stopped him. But that is a very good point as well, that if they get a better Echo Slam, or get an Echo Slam at all, that fight could have had a very different outcome.
The impressive thing to me is like FNG as a Rubik 900 health didn't die. Just the stolen Fissure, the great telekinesis, his team bailing out.
And
it's
with the huge that he still has it. That's the biggest part of it. Like, it's one thing if he dies in the fight. It's the impact he can have in the up-and-coming fight right now. They have Vacuum, they have Wall, and they have the Fissure that NiP might be considering right now. And if they just walk in, if they try to backstab them and they don't get a kill immediately, this could... they could get absolutely destroyed, like 4-0'd in this fight if they don't get the right jump.
I mean, they're fighting in the forest where a Fissure plus the trees could do a lot. Looks like they're going to run into each other. Plasma field. He's clearing out.
They need to find G.
Oh, they used him up, but Limp, though, he's in lot of trouble. Call down on the back line. The Fissure, I can't tell which one it was. Storm Rage is going to get glimpsed. He doesn't have the BKB. He's actually...
Echo, though.
Yep. On the back line now, Era clings down on the river as well. G on the run, he pops the BKB. The Birds are doing a lot of physical damage. The right click Limp, they're gonna kill G. G denies himself in the front. Middle's gonna get brought down here by Johannes Fan as well. That's a team wipe from NiP, losing 1 and getting 5. Are they gonna go into Roshan? It seems so.
Yeah, I was worried for NiP when they tried to go for that backstab that they were going to go in as one group and just get cut off by a Fissure into back wall, but instead they found a really good flank angle where only one was exposed. They bait out the Fissure from FNG, which has minimal impact as a result, and all of a sudden the fight kind of breaks into 2, where NiP's lineup is just really good. This time Yona delivering on the Echo Slam, giving them 5 kills and a Roche. That's big.
Yeah, and I think the big factor is that Razor is just not tanky enough. I mean, he's got a ton of health in the front line, but he just needs some magic resist, or magic immunity from a BKB. And I think that has to be his next item of choice.
Aegis. Going to be grabbed. There is another key item coming out here for the Shaker. He will be grabbing his Glimmer Cape. Does have the mana pool for it. We talked about his mana issues earlier, but since he already has Arcanes and Force Staff, he should be alright.
Yeah. And also the key thing is that Limp now has that Aghanim, so
absolutely.
Even G is going to have a little bit of trouble surviving. Speaking of G, he has a Vitality Booster.
I think he's building Heart.
And a Plate Mail.
Yeah. This is a really nice build. You know, when you think about how Lina generally deals with cores in the middle game with the Laguna Axe, you tend to think, let's a hero like Anti-Mage. He just really struggles because he loses such a big part of his health pool, but if you look over the damage of NiP, you can't really itemize against the Laguna Blade with anything else than raw health, or a Linken's, but the Linken's will probably be broken by something else, right?
Right.
So just really tanking up hard on health is the best counter to the X Laguna for the Lesh, and he's a hero who doesn't sacrifice too much damage output from getting the heart. Like, tanking up on Lesh indirectly gives you damage because you just aren't afraid of staying in the fight and don't have to reset as much.
Is there any other possibility?
It could be a Rod of Atos. I don't think so.
I think it's a bit too late for a Rod of Atos. What about Octarine Core? It could
be Octarine. That's a good point. That's probably...
The lightning spam could be pretty nice.
how much health is it Octarine gives? It gives 450 health.
Compared to
the heart gives about, what is it?
1,000, I think, over 1,000.
The heart gives 300 plus 40 times 19. So it's like...
That's a lot.
I mean, let me think.
Right.
Yeah, that's over 1,000. It's like
Dire's
1,000,
middle
1,060 or
tower is
something.
under attack.
So yeah, we'll see what he needs, what he feels like he needs. T2 looks like it's not going to get defended here by NiP. Hard to defend against Illidan on the ultimate. Oh, I say that everybody's teleporting in. They're going to focus on Illidan again. Laguna Blade brings him down low. It's a vacuum wall on every wall. 3. But Era on the back line, he's just unchallenged. Little taking a ton of damage. Echo Slam on 1. Fish to 2. DK Phobos on the run, but G still wants to fight. He has yet another haste ring. Yule Scepter, though, will actually mess up the surge. LSA will hit on DK Phobos as well. Era is going to pop that Aegis. But I think they're going to bring down DK Phobos as a result. G trying to fight on the front, but another fissure thanks to the sneakiness of that Glimmer Cape, and they will get another 4-for-3 exchange. Not the best exchange for NiP, but still advantageous one for them. And the Swedes looking like they're going to take the game too, or at least having a huge advantage in this one.
Yeah, they are finally starting to really pull ahead now with these couple of fights. Experience easily favoring them now by quite a bit here, almost a 10,000 lead. The goal only 5k though. It's really important in every single fight that NiP are taking right now that Shaker is unaccounted for. Jonas is doing so much work every single time with well-placed fissures. This time I think it's, again, a 2-man Echo Slam. You don't need to go for that insane wombo, like 3-4 hero one. If you just get 2 really key targets out, even if they don't die, just the duration of the lockdown is enough to get a lot of space for Era and, of course, Limp to deal the other damage that they need to put out. And I'm really feeling... This game, the Razor has not worked for VP the way they wanted, and he has to be able to grab a big item so that he can become a factor in the fights. He's kind of a liability right now in the 1 position. That's really not what you want to see out of a Razor.
Would have been a lot different if he had BKB instead.
Absolutely.
Well, the thing is, there's still the Lina.
Yes, but his health pool I think is high enough that even if he picks the Laguna, between the mech and his wand, he is probably going to be... at least then he takes the Laguna, right? Even if nothing else happens.
He's been in the Laguna.
Oh, did he take that fight as well? Okay.
Yes. I think that's what Limp is like. You know what? You're just tanking the Laguna every single fight.
Alternatively, he could get a heart then, if that's the path it's going down here. But he definitely needs some sort of way to provide more of a... to output more pressure in fights as... Oh. There is the Atos used on the Lina. It's going to get back walled. Only 1 hero though. Seal Kid's in a lot of trouble here. Where is the Shaker? No Echo for another second. Has it now?
Yeah, they're going to fight right now. Arab turning on his BKB, going a little. He knows he also does a ton of damage on the front line. Belt Yules here from Lina. Where's the Echo? No Echo. Echo comes to low late G with a BKB, blocks most of it. DK Fobo still tanking up on the front line. Arab BKB ends, so he might be a little bit vulnerable. Tower kills on the Darkseer. 3-for-3, Era still alive. Not sure whether NiP should hold this tier 2 because it's just not worth the fight. Here comes the Lightning Storm.
Oh, good force staff from Hanskin. Breaking the telekinesis. They will get the tower, however. Is he thinking about the glimpse play here? He is.
He's out of mana. G is, well, going to be dead because there's a Daedalus on Era. Denai's going to come out. Yeah, another one on that Leshrac, and that Bloodstone is dwindling quite quickly.
Overall, still a 1 fight here for VP. They get a bit more. This recap is not really representative anymore. But if you look at the graph, you'll see the story. They got the better kill. They got the tower as well. And well, this is a very, very close game so far. Now Era is really starting to pull ahead.
Yeah, it's a close game, except every fight Era survives. And G, as well as Illidan, has been dying.
Yes.
So the item progression halts for the other two. And, you know, Daedalus, I imagine... perhaps Butterfly or some sort of item that gives him more health a little bit later on as well. Era is just not unaccounted for because he's in your face the whole time, but perhaps undealable at this point.
Yep.
I think Satanic is probably the next item choice, and honestly, how did he deal with the Satanic Gyrocopter?
I think Butterfly might be better. I don't know if he needs to take up right now. It doesn't, like you said, it doesn't seem like his problem is dying. It's more about just being able to keep laying into targets and being able. And of course, he can use the Flutter. In this game, there's not too many auto attacks that are a problem for him, so you could argue that he doesn't really benefit that much from the evasion in that case, but still, just for damage output and general mobility, Butterfly is nice.
That's true.
Alternatively, MKB is a potential item, and, well, if you wanted to take that route, you could even see a Scotty, which we've seen Gyros get quite a bit in the past.
I think MKB is not bad, because there is a possibility that Visage will upgrade that medallion to Solar Crest,
yes,
which can cut down the damage from NiP quite a bit. But one thing I also want to point out is that Gyrocopter just goes on the Visage hard at the beginning of the fight. And you know, preventing that 4-second slow assumption.
Oh, Jonas! Tried to be cute, got cut.
Get picked off. They might go for a tier 2 off of this. And I don't think NiP should fight. They're very dependent of having a good echo.
Yeah, this is 70 seconds. That's tier 2. If VP are aware, they could actually high ground. I think the Shaker is such an important part of NiP's team fight that they might be able to make it. On second thought, however, maybe not able to because they don't have the BKB on the Razor set. But he's definitely going to be popping his ultimate if they go for the tier 3. They're going to just eat it down this tower for now. Glyph being saved by NiP. I think it's the right call. Save it for the high ground. Try to bait them up there. Teleport coming in from Hanskin.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you want to go into this high ground where there's Kinetic Field, Static Storm, Call Down. It's just a very good choke. CeeLo gotta be careful. He's on the front line. Blink into lift into a burst stun. CeeLo a lot of trouble. Worst those defensive force staff. He gets pushed away. He's fine for now. G going forward though. Back wall to 3. They need to activate the BKB right now. Era flacking away. Limp dies. G will follow as well. It's a 4 for 2. I'm not sure if VP could continue to push. Slow assumption though will drive Era away. In fact, is he gonna die to the supports? He wants to go back in, but the birds are gonna bring him down. Double buyback coming out from Limp. G though, he plays back, he puts a travel back in and he's fresh. He's got a ton of health, a ton of mana. Limp, is it gonna be a dieback? Self-fuels, and Night Shot will burn her down.
This looks like
really
miscommunication from NiP. They're buying back the she goes in and dies, and then they buy back Era. They need to go in at the same time as now Jonas gonna be delivering a decent back stun. They're gonna get, if Era dies, it's game!
Yeah, Era trying to regen for whatever he can. Maybe he needed to be tankier. Satanic Recipe, well, not doing too good now. That's dead for 2 minutes. G, well, he's trying to bring down this melee.
They just lost a game they were leading in literally 1 minute and 30 seconds, I think.
Well, it ain't over yet, as Virtus.pro backs off.
Oh, that is... Yeah, they might actually not be able to get Rex. They still have 100 seconds. Like, their heroes are going to respawn. They could just walk top and take the melee Rex for free, I think. They know it was a dieback from Era.
And also Limp, I want to say. Did she also die back? I think so.
He did.
Yeah.
His buybacks and especially his teleport positions when he buys back have been very questionable in this game. Twice now he's bought back. And it's not just that he buys back and dies, but it's the way he goes in and dies very, very aggressively. And overestimating his own ability in those situations with what he has to use. He only has a Yule's Axe. He's not a superhero right now.
The way that he's playing, I thought he had a BKB. Because you wouldn't make that play if you didn't have a BKB.
Yeah, then you can go for a play like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely not the case there. What a big win for VP that fight was.
Well, VP is not going to...
Now the graphs are updating, by the way.
10k go swing. Not something that we see too often in Dota after one fight, especially in 6.84. But Virtus.pro, you could make the argument they're sort of back in it, or we just say this game is completely even now. I still think that NiP wins fights.
By quite a bit.
Oh, with the BKB now finished on the Razor, that changes things a lot.
The Satanic on Gyro could help. He did it up to go for the Satanic, and as it showed in the last fight, he does need the tank ability after all, so I think it's fine. I thought they were going to be able to take a little bit better fights and wouldn't need it, but at this point he will definitely need it. The question is, can he deal enough? Like, this is obviously very good for the main target you're laying into, but how much is he really hitting the others for? Do they have Vlads? Do they have AC on the Radiant? It looks like neither, so at least that's decent for Era, but they still have high armor. Lesh has 22, Visage of course has a lot when the Gravekeeper's Cloak is available, Razor on 13, Darkseer 27, and even Rubik, okay, 4. He will die to Flat Cannon. But he has a Shadow Amulet, so maybe he can even kite it. This very farmed Gyro does not seem like he is enough of a threat right now. And NiP just conceding the entire map control right now. VP are just controlling. NiP are not showing on any lanes.
Can you make the argument that, especially against a hero like Leshrac, it's more important to outlast him than to kill them straight right? And I guess that's what the Satanic is for.
Yeah, well, it's obviously what he feels like he needs to do. The question is if he can get double Flat Cannon as a result, because I think it's going to be the first Flat Cannon anyway that gets the vast majority of his, that's his vast majority of impact in the fight. So he's got like a 15-second downtime, and they need to plan out the fight so that he precasts Flak before it begins, he gets the attacks off, and gets it soon enough that they can take a secondary. Else the Satanic, sure, it's going to keep him alive, but how much of a threat does he pose when the Flak is down? Not so much.
Well, Virtus.pro saw
they have read this entirely.
They saw the call down being used in the Roshan pit with the birds. So they're like, yeah, we're going to go the high ground right now. And tier 3 is to get
Dyer's middle tower has
dropped.
fallen.
But they'll back off. Very patient play from Virtus Pro. And are they going to get any like stray kills here? NiP.
They saw him.
Era doesn't have a TP.
Dyer's
They did
middle
see him, but I
barracks
don't
are
think they
under
can catch
attack.
up. He is bloodlusted, has backup.
He's stranded though.
Kind of in an awkward position, but this could end up working out really well for NiP since they will come from an
Dyer's
unexpected
middle
angle here with a
barracks are
flank
under
play,
attack.
perhaps.
Oh,
Maybe
the
a
lift.
two-front fight, but it's Hanskin that's going to be opened on first.
He forced that
Good
away.
force.
Okay. Is there a glimpse still of any sort?
Dyer's
No, he has.
middle
Don't Thunderstrike on FNG. He's going to get glimpsed now.
FNG's got Glimmer Cape. Do they have the damage output? Yeah, they definitely do. The 5 support. Oh, now Era getting his damage range. He really needs to get away. The back only hits on 1. Era losing a ton of his damage, and now Illidan on the front line with this BKB just going hard. On the back, G in a lot of trouble. Looks like there's a chase on Seal Kid. Seal Kid's gonna get burned down by a Soul Assumption, and Era still stranded out there. Echo Slam onto G, but where's the damage output? Era now joins back in. Rocket Barrage will be his damage, but is it enough? He's taking a lot. He doesn't have the Satanic yet. G finally will go down to Limp. Limp gets stunned up. Self-Yules brings him back up in the air. But Illidan, he's still at full health. He's doing so much damage. Virtus Pro wins yet another fight right outside of the base. Shaker on the back line. He blinks away. Can he TP away? He will. Vac is going to cancel the TP. Johannafan in a lot of trouble. Does those birds have stun? Glimmer Cape? Okay, there's no detection, but he's still stuck out there because he doesn't have TP.
They probably just go and push the button when the Lesh comes back. They have 30 seconds. They know Shaker's in the middle of no. Actually, all right, fight's gonna break out. Gonna use the wall. It's gonna miss. And now the birds are trying to flank. His blink still on cooldown. Does a 4-step. However, second drop is also gonna miss.
But all this
Bonus
time, look at
looking
mid lane
fine,
though.
but yeah, there's the one lane of Rax. They can probably go top as well. They know there's 50 seconds, or they could go for the greedier play and try to get the bottom lane, including the tier 3 here. Lesh is up in 10. Gyro 40 seconds. They know there's no Echo Slam.
Oh, Shaker can't die here. Plasma Field, he forced that, takes the extra bit of damage, but he will be okay. There's the Future Travel purchase on the Dark Side. It looks like he's going to join the fight alongside G. There's just way too much damage out. Glyph is going to get forced out. This is going to be the last hurrah for NiP. They need to win this fight, or it's delayed till Gyro comes back. Fissure's going to hit on about a lot of people, but Seal Kid, though, in a lot of trouble. G's going around on the Burst Stuns. They both hit. Seal Kid is dead. He doesn't have buyback. On the back line, the Raxes are fully breached. There's the range Rax is going to go down. There's one Rax left for NiP.
Dyer's bottom barracks
Is
have
the
fallen.
VP gonna go for it? They're picking it out. They want it.
They've got plenty of time. There's 40 seconds on Ogre. Even though Gyro responds in a moment, he still needs to move over there. And even the time it takes him to just get into the fight, they've lost the half of the Rax already.
Echo in 5.
Yeah, it is this Echo has to be monstrous, and it's pretty good at least. They got Illidan down very low. He will fall here to Era's right clip. He's gonna run down FNG as well.
Rax
Nice
is good.
Glimmer Cape though, as the tower, or the Rax rather, G trying for it. Long dead by the Burks.
Barracks have fallen.
It's Megas.
Radiant
Swollen Echo. Nothing.
Yeah, FNG will die here as a result as well. DK Phobos is no, he gets glimpsed back. His BKB is down. Let's see if they can bring him down. He just straight up runs away. LSA will miss as a result, but he runs into the crevice of the fissure. DK Phobo dies also, but unless NiP buys Divine here, I don't see them winning this game.
I think with the Divine, I also don't see them winning this game.
Well, they increase the chance.
If he buys Satanic, no, I think that's a big mistake. That is not going to be.
He sells it.
Yeah,
He
there we
sells
go.
everything.
There's no other play. Let's do it.
I like it. Now, do you go down mid?
Yeah, it's the YOLO play. They have no other choices. We're going to see a pause from VP. Whew, sorry, 1 sec. Now, do they have any boots of travel on NiP's side? Because if they don't, this push is actually going to be 4 and 5. They can't let their base just get sieged by creeps. They're going to be clearing it out too fast. The bottom and top lanes are already pushing in. The big creep are on the way.
No, nobody has it.
So it's a 4 and 5 in the enemy base, with the enemy having buybacks on 2 out of 3 cores.
Well,
That's a tall
two of
order.
the more important cores, right? Leshrac and Razor.
Oh, they're just going. They're going to go for the 5 on 5, which means VP, all they need to do is just hold. If they can just delay and not let the fight break out.
There's a lot of buildings left on NiP. They could do this. The alternate play is they could just go for a base race because they have multiple Butcher Travel, but Leshrac just used his. It's on cooldown for 30 seconds. Looks like he did pick up that
Radiant's
Octarine
middle tower
core.
is under
Oh, no. Yeah, Lesh is not the same as Razor. It's me. Razor.
NiP has to get back very soon. Like, you should not underestimate these mega creeps, how much damage they're doing.
Wait. Illidan just bought items. He's out of buyback right now.
What'd he get? He finished his
Dyer's middle
Perseverance?
tower is under attack.
Value!
No. I think he got the refresher recipe as well. But
Oh, I see.
yeah, hold that thought. Now the fight is going to break out on the high ground. Look at top lane here. The Shrag is going for it back.
fissure from the Rubik. They're gonna try to burn down DK. Phobos taking a ton of damage, but okay, he just walks out. It seems like the line is not enough. The base race, it's gonna happen right now. Slam not really doing that much because he got the BKB. He's just going right clicks on the throw. He stuns onto 2, but they got the BKB lit. Now using his BKB going on GG is gonna die? Question mark? No, he's just fighting time. Offensive Yo here from Limp LSA will land as a result, but he's got buyback, I believe.
He's gonna buy back important on the siege creep. They're gonna have to stop him right now. Dark there as well.
Era, can he lifesteal? No, he actually sold his hell, remember? So he doesn't have lifesteal. He's just really stuck out there. The TPs are going in for the throne. Johannes in huge trouble, and the throne just dies. The base race from Virtus Pro, the decision making, more just clutching the game from NiP, because this was NiP's game, right?
Well, I think I never had the feeling in that game that NiP were in such a comfortable position that they were leading enough that you